Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to a special little video. So, some of you guys who don't know me that well, or haven't been watching the channel in a long time, might not know this, but I am a significant meat connoisseur. Love my steaks, love my roasts, and all sorts of stuff. And I thought over the last couple months to try some experiments when it comes to meat, when it comes to dry aging and wet aging. So what I've done in the last little bit, it was for Canadian Thanksgiving, was to do I think it was a 6 pound or 8 pound eye of round roast, which I believe comes from the back leg area, I believe, the rear third of a cow. But I thought I'd try my hand at dry aging. Now, I didn't want to do too crazy of a dry age because I really didn't have the best setup for it, nor did I have the optimal piece of meat. For dry aging, the best thing you want to do is get a very, very, very fatty piece of meat, and a large piece of meat at that, because you lose a lot of your size to the moisture loss. Obviously, water evaporating out of the meat. In conjunction with that, trimming as well. The end, trimming off I think it's called the pellicle. Basically the outer skin that is created. But I wanted to walk you guys through. So what you're looking at right now is actually the very first day. On the very first day, what I basically did was I cleaned it up a little bit, trimmed off some stuff. Sorry, I'm wrong. Sorry, did not trim off anything. I kind of left it as is. Took it out of the package, because I got it directly from my butcher, and basically put it on an oven rack with a large Pyrex dish, a lasagna size Pyrex dish, and put a whole bunch of salt in it to help draw out that moisture and dry out the air around it, and put it in the fridge. Now, this is not the most optimum way to do dry aging by far. I didn't have a lot of stuff that I wanted to get. I have a buddy of mine that's a butcher that actually dry ages steaks up to around 100 days. Does a full rib roast. And then basically just carves it all up and charges us an arm and a leg for it. So I thought, let's try some of this on my own. Just a quick little 7-day thing for Thanksgiving, and well, there you go. So this is it sitting in the fridge. So as you can see here, this is after it's been cleaned up a little bit. So you can see that the fat's really glistening and all that stuff, and basically it's sitting on a towel. Just in case anything comes off this side or off that side. At this point, the actual roast was bigger than the pan. I want to mention that. It's significantly larger than the pan. Those are the other two I got with it. So, this picture here. These next 3 pictures are actually from the day after. So you can see here it's kind of dried out on the outside a little bit. Nothing much really occurred. You can see that they got little things here of fat that were pushing its way out of the meat. I talked to my butcher here because I was worried about what this was, and he was like, "Don't worry about it. It's just fat, basically just coming out of the ground and what have you." And I believe, this was after 1 week. So everything you're seeing is pretty much, is actually a couple days or a day or two. I'll show you guys my 100 wet age thing in another video. But yeah, this is every day. So after the first night. About 24 hours, it dried on the outside, and some of the fat kind of had pushed out. I was a little concerned, but overall, it looked pretty good. It was perfectly fine. That's my dog, after I gave it a bath. So you can see here on day 2, the meat's taken more of a darker tone. The fat itself has kind of reddened out a little bit, because it's basically hardening, because it's losing a lot of moisture. It felt tacky to the fingertips. But to a certain point, like you can see here, this almost felt like carpet. The best way to example it is looked smooth, smelled okay, but when I went to touch it and ran my finger across it, it felt like running it across a very stiff carpet. There's a picture from the sides. You can see here the fat itself here is hardening pretty good. It's taken a darker color. You can see the area I'm talking about right in here, where the fat's basically where the meat is starting to shrink. Now, this is not an ideal cut of meat, like I mentioned before. You want something with a lot of fat to protect the meat. So that's why I only did this for 7 days. And then this is the other side. So you can see the fat on the other side here. At this point, it was only a day, so there really wasn't much big deal about the fat in that side. That's my girlfriend and the dog. This is the next day. You can see the dog in the background staring at me while I took it. So you can see here the meat is starting to take a more darker color over here. The fan from the fridge would be about here-ish and was actually coming down this way and going that way. Talked to my butcher and he said I should next time get some computer fans and actually hook them up and have them blowing air across the a nice rib roast or something like that, like a big one. But first test, right? I didn't want to try it on a really expensive piece of meat, have it fail and go all funky on me. But at the same time, wanted to make sure that it worked and it tasted good. So so this was the next day. You can see here the fat, those little bits are starting to come out a little bit more pronounced on the sides. At this point, it was pretty tacky on the outside. Like you could touch it and it felt, you could, like, obviously it's meat, but you could feel that there was moisture behind it. Think of it as like touching a Ziploc bag with a piece of meat on the other side. It had that like a weird feeling to it. Overall, no smell. I also changed it the salt that day as well, so kind of got things going. Basically, I was rotating it every 24 hours. Here's the other side. So you can see here how the meat is actually starting to dry out and also split a little bit. I wasn't expecting. The fat here was hard as a rock. There's the side of it there. Here's the next day, not the best picture. So you can see here the meat's basically taking even darker colors. The fat is pretty much the same. Like, it didn't really change colors much at that point, like the fat. It kept this, like, I want to say almost like a cherry color, like a dark cherry color. You can see here it's kind of like a little bit more of a brown color, and then here is the more reddish. I noticed that the areas closer to the salt dried out faster, which obviously makes sense. It was pretty good, actually. Here's the next day after that. And then the day after that. So this is day 7 right here. Wait, no. This is day 7. Yep. So, last day. Did some work. I'm trying to figure out how to figure it out and what to do and stuff. There was no smell. It was pretty dry on the outside. The fat was ridiculously, like, stone hard. Kind of hoping that showed up a little better. You can actually see the striations in the meat a lot more, and even the fat as well. Here's the underside of it, where you can actually see the striations. Or no, sorry, this is from the top. So you can actually see the meat almost took like almost like a jerky, like a beef jerky feel on the outside. It's really good. Then on the bottom, you can actually see the bars. They dried out that much. I had to trim that little piece off. And there it is. Basically cooked it as is, wanted to see how it was and all that stuff, and there it is, cooked up and cut up and sliced. One thing I did notice is this thing basically cooked really fast. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to cook because it was only a week, but it actually cooked extremely fast. It went from 125 Celsius to 190 to 200 in a matter of like 5-6 minutes. It hit that temperature and then just all of a sudden jumped up. If you ever want to do this with an eye around, I suggest you pay very, very, very close attention to the temperature. I thought I was. I mean, I'm a veteran of using my smoker and barbecue, and I mean, 2 days from now is my birthday, and I'm going to be doing probably a 16, 17 pound brisket, 2 racks of ribs on my smoker, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And yeah, the plan was nice medium rare, but this ended up being a little too cooked even for me. And I mean, it was tender and all that stuff, tasted good. Basically just tasted like a how can I put this? It tasted okay. I think it would have been better with obviously a more fatter piece of meat to protect the meat itself. The taste and the flavor were nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. All in all, I don't want to say it was a failure as an experiment. It was okay. It was basically just a knife round. Nothing really felt amazing about it. Nothing felt crazy about it. The meat did have a bit of a stronger flavor to it. But all in all, though, nothing felt too unique and nothing too special or too crazy to it. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys is my 100-day aged tenderloin. That, on the other hand, completely different story. Wet aged it for 100 days. And I will show you guys that in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, leave a like and leave a comment. I got a smoker and barbecue and a slight problem. I'd be happy to show you guys stuff that I do and all that stuff. And if people are interested in watching, thanks for watching. See you then. Bye-bye.